bhavantu loka samasta sukhino 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 bhavantu. One more song. Om Ananta Mahi Chaitanya Mahi Satya Paramera Chaitanya Mai Satya Mai Paramesh Vari Om Ananda Mai Chaitanya Mai Satya Mai Paramesh Vari
I think it's okay, Brother Chris. The spirits will forgive us. Ah, you did it. But let's thank Brother Chris for being so meticulous and beautiful in his honoring of the rituals. So, my dear friends, a very, very heartfelt welcome to you. As always, your presence is truly a blessing. And now I'll invite Brother Chris back again, because it is our tradition in our services always to honor our ancestors, honor the Native Americans, who are the first peoples, and then subsequently, Isla will honor the divine feminine. That's critical. We do that in every service of ours. Thank you so much, Brother Chris.
Our flame will not go out. And the flame that we hold for our ancestors, I wanted to honor that also, especially in this time. Well, I don't want to talk too much on the strife that's happening in the world, but I hope that this prayer honors the memory and the folks and many souls who have gone before us and who come after us. I call to those who died in raging war, those who only wanted simple things, the joy of day, the calm of night. Blessed is your memory. I called to those who died from hate, those who were hurt by belief, from fueled fear, twisted tight, unleashed upon those seen as different. Blessed is your memory. I call to those who died by the power of the mother, the winds and the storm, the fueled fire, the sweeping strength of the earth out of balance. Blessed is your memory. I call to those who died from hunger, from preventable disease, unneeded harm. I call to those who died poverty-stricken, struggling just to exist. Blessed is your memory. I remember you. I see you. I will not forget you. I will let the knowledge of this truth pass over and through me. I will remain ready to do the work I am called to do. Blessed is your memory. And for every service, we also like to acknowledge that this land was not our own when it was first formed. The first peoples of this land, many, many native tribes have crossed this plain, and it wasn't originally called Ballard. And one of the tribes that was here, one of the native peoples were the Duwamish. You could also say the Muckleshoots. Many Coast Salish tribes crossed this land, and we honor their commitment to this land, their sacrifices, their holding it sacred, and we hope to always hold it sacred also. And as part of that prayer, one thing that I have done before, and I hope to do again, and folks who are at home, if they want to join us, and if you want to join me here to do this prayer, I'm going to lay my hand on my heart, and when I do that, I'm trying to gather all that's human about me, and all my joys, all my sorrows, all the parts of me, and then I'm going to offer it up to Creator, and as I offer it up to Creator, I'm going to say a prayer, and as Creator observes my sacrifice and my devotion to that, he may put a gift or she may put a gift in my hand. And I hope that's the same for all of you. So one more deep breath. And as we pray together, it's a native word, aho. So one more time, breath. Aho. Thank you. Blessed be.
I'd like to offer a chant to the Divine Mother in the form of the Swift Protectress, Mother Tara, the mother of all the Buddhas, who's vowed to come again and again in the form of a woman until everyone has reached enlightenment. She's known to dispel arguments and quarrels and end wars. Om Tare Tu Re Swaha. Om Tare
tare tu tare tu re swaha. Om 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 tare tu re swaha. Om.
As always, thank you so much, Sister Ayla. Oops. So, my dear friends, once again, a very, very heartfelt welcome to you, to those who are here in person and those who are online on cyberspace. Salam, shalom, peace, namaste. So, my friends, on this beautiful non-monsoony day, let us do a few ahms or ohms. Deep breath. One more time. And become very still, being open to the glow of presence. And now a chant, knowing that when we chant praises of divinity, God doesn't become holy, we become holy. Allahu Allah. 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 Just the beloved women, please. Just the beloved men. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Family all together. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Once softly. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Twice aloud. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. Allahu Allah. And once again, becoming still, open to the glow of presence. Thank you. So, my dear friends, today, a talk about a very difficult subject. Israel, Palestine, the pain, the grief, healing the pain. What do we do? It's such a profound trauma. The grief, the pain, the anger, the sadness. And all of us, each one of us, whether you're Israeli, Palestinian, from any place, we all have a story. And it depends how far back you go. And the story is, my pain is greater than yours. My sadness is more devastating. My grief is more devastating than yours. My aggression is because of your aggression. You know, I'm reminded of this story. All of you know this fictional character, Mullah Nasruddin. He's fictional, and through him many truths are conveyed. In this case, he's a judge. And you have the plaintiff and the defendant, and the plaintiff presents his case. And the mullah, who's the judge, says, "Oh, you're right, you're right. Oh, you're right, you're right." The defendant presents the case. And he turns to the defendant and says, "Oh, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right." The bailiff says, "Your Honor, you're the judge. Both can be right." And the mullah says, "You're right, you're right, you're right." Just be with that story. You see, if I'm totally focused on my story, which is authentic, which is real, if I become entranced by that, immersed in that, drenched in that, then for me, personally, collectively, the end justifies the means. This place right here. Welcome. So what do we do? What can we do? You see, something very important all the sages say, please listen to the other. See, listen. Be present. Don't formulate your answer while the other person is speaking. I love those words of Rumi, if you remember. What is listening? Metaphorically, put your head on the person's chest and sink into the answer. Put your head on the person's chest and sink into the answer. In this case, not so much this happened, that happened, but really listening authentically, honestly, fully, deeply to the pain of the other, the grief of the other, the sadness of the other. You see, all of this requires the sages say, that we become more evolved, more complete, more developed human beings. I have to transform my ego, as you've heard many times, from a commanding master into a personal assistant. I have to open my heart, polish my heart, remove those impurities so it reflects the face of Allah, metaphorically speaking. In this case, it means to transform my ego, Brother Jamal, with compassion. Can you become aware of your conditioned biases, prejudices, stereotyping of the other? So if I'm honest, look at myself. I'm a Muslim. Yes, I know more about the Palestinian issue, their pain, their grief. So, in that sense, I am biased. I ask you, look at yourself. What are your biases, prejudices? Islamic mystics say, please shine the light of compassionate awareness on yourself. Allow that light to make you aware of your shadows. Allow that to dissolve, diminish your shadow. Open your heart. Unclench it. How do I do that? By embracing my 10,000 joys and sorrows of life. The Quran says you also open your heart by coming to know the other outside your tribe, to connect with the other on a human level. And there's a tongue-in-cheek verse from the Quran I love. The Quran says, and Allah has created some of you to be a trial for others. But it's a part of cosmic design to create diversity, and we get to know the other. That opens my heart. I create what the great teachers say, an inner spaciousness. I need to create an inner spaciousness. And by the way, when I create an inner spaciousness, there's so much more room, space, for joy to flow in, love to flow in, passion to flow in. Because it's opened up. This is called as you know, the inner inconvenient work. I'd rather tell you how to do it than do it myself. You know, I love that poetry from Rumi about opening the heart. He says, take a pickaxe. Some of you know this by memory. Take a pickaxe and break open your stony heart. Take a pickaxe and break open your stony heart. The heart's matrix is glutted with rubies. Springs of laughter are buried in your chest. Not easy. But if my mind expands, if my heart opens up, I become what is called a more developed human being. Doesn't matter what your religion, doesn't matter what tribe, what culture. Then I'm able to fulfill all those injunctions in the holy books, which I say by rote, but do I mean that? Do I practice that? See, the Quran says, repel evil with something which is better, so that your enemy becomes your intimate bosom friend. The Quran says, do not allow hatred of others towards you to cause you to be unjust. Be just, says the Quran. This is closest to God consciousness. So we are capable of that. But we're only capable if we have developed that capacity to be more compassionate, more loving, more forgiving, being able to be of authentic service to others. If our minds are open, hearts are open, then you'll understand this verse in the Quran which says, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Which sounds, oh my God. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know what Gandhi said? If we followed that, we'd all be blind and toothless. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. And the Quran goes on. But if you forgive, your rewards are from God. And this is the best in the mutual carrying on of your duties, the mutual consultation, mutual carrying on of your affairs. if you forgive. But can we forgive? We are human. It's so difficult in the face of atrocities to forgive, which is why this is actually a sacred verse, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, meaning don't overdo it. Don't be excessive in your reaction. If you can't forgive because you're human and you haven't reached that state of evolvement, for God's sake at least, be proportionate in your response. This is particularly at a time in the 7th century in the Arabian Peninsula. If someone, for example, came and killed a member of my family, I would go and kill the entire members of all the members of their family and their extended family. A lack of proportion. It is in that sense it says, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. If you can't help it. But if you can, please forgive. I've been to Israel, Palestine twice with my interfaith amigos. And the best insight I heard was evolved imams, evolved rabbis getting together, and they had this insight. They said, let's start from this premise. This land that we're fighting over, this does not belong to the Jews. It does not belong to the Muslims. It does not belong to the Christians. It belongs to God. Okay, just be with that. What are some truths we need to speak about? Doesn't matter who you are, Muslim, non-Muslim, Jewish, which country you come from. We have to speak the truth that an occupation is an occupation. It is wrong. It is brutal. The Quran says when there is helplessness, hopelessness, anger over a prolonged period of time, the Quran says it's not that the eyes become blind, the hearts become blind. It's not that the eyes become blind, the hearts become blind. And we are all capable of doing the most atrocious acts. Just as we say occupation is wrong, we must say killing of innocent people is absolutely immoral, wrong, unacceptable. The Quran says if you kill one innocent person, it is as if you're killing all of humanity. What other truth can we talk about? The truth that if Hamas is evil, in each one of us there is a Hamas. After 9/11, everybody quoted Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Do you remember him? He's a very famous Russian dissident who passed away not too long ago. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who said, if only it was so simple that there are some evil people out there, and all you have to do is isolate them, separate them, and destroy them. He says, alas, the line dividing good and evil runs through every single human heart. And who is willing to tear a piece of his or her own heart? What other truth can we talk about? The truth that when Muslims and Jews are fighting, they're forgetting they're cousins of the same Abrahamic family. They are cousins, related by blood. But of course, we have to admit, it's a very, very, very dysfunctional Abrahamic family. I saw one poster I liked very much. Ben Abrahamson, I think his name. He said, when my cousins are fighting, I will only support the one who works to unify them. I will not take sides. I will take the side of that person, that organization, which really is sincerely, authentically working to unify them. So I would say, Brother Jamal, I say to each one of you, If you want to get engaged, there are many beautiful grassroots organizations. Israel, Palestine, US, all over the world, about this Israeli-Palestinian conflict, working daily, without any glamour, without any media, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, continuously, in spite of all the difficulties, to bring peace between Jews and Muslims and Christians. You might say, big deal. Let me tell you one thing. I realized it's a very big deal. You know, in my lifetime, the Berlin Wall came down. I never thought the Berlin Wall would come down. In my lifetime, apartheid was dismantled. Communism came down, was dismantled. An African American was elected to the White House for 2 terms. You know why? If the ones who really study this? Because for decades there had been grassroots level people and organizations working. You know, Rumi says, give yourself up to grace, do this work, and then give yourself up to grace. The ocean takes care of every wave till it reaches shore. And if the waves, they collect together, if they collaborate, these collective waves can easily wash away continents. The power of collective grassroots organizations, collaboration, cooperation. What else? This insight is very beautiful, powerful. We learn from history that we do not learn from history. We learn from history that we do not learn from history. So I've seen a lot of articles in the New York Times really elaborating on this. They say, you know, just overwhelming force will never produce the desired result. How come we don't learn from history? Look at our own country, America. What happened to us in Vietnam? Overpowering force we had. In Iraq, I think it's Nicholas Kristof, who's a wonderful writer in the New York Times. He says, the Taliban deserved to be eliminated. But what happened? We went in there with our overwhelming force to eliminate Taliban. In the end, we got eliminated. Now, a very important point. Non-Muslims are not aware of the history of Islam. Muslims are not aware of the history of Islam. They think it was all by force. You know, in 622, the Prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad, he migrated from Mecca to Medina. It was a tiny, embryonic community, surrounded by enemies. And he was a prophet, but he said, no, you're our leader, commander, protect us. And so he led battles. He made allies who agreed with him for justice, for compassion. And after battle, he would say, we have come from the lesser struggle, let's do the greater struggle. What is the greater struggle? What is the greater struggle? We have to do the work of transforming the ego. The real enemy is inside of us, between our ribs. Otherwise, if we don't do this work, in fighting injustice, we might ourselves become unjust. In fighting extremism, I might become extreme. So he would do this inner work to diminish this cry, this yearning for vengeance, overdoing, excessive. But what most people don't know is that in 628 CE, this is just 4 years before he died, he had a dream, a vision, where God said to Muhammad, go to Mecca, that was his enemies there, and ask that you do the pilgrimage. But on one condition you go, Go unarmed. So when he woke from his vision and dream, he told his followers, God has told me to go to Mecca. They said, go to Mecca, they will kill us. They're the enemies. Not only that, we have to go unarmed. What? You know, they didn't say you've gone crazy because he's a prophet. But Omar, who became a caliph, said, Muhammad, this is like taking lambs to the slaughter. He said, no, God has told me that. So only 1,000 said, okay, we'll come with you, but no arms. And God guided them. They went to what is called a safe zone, and they were attacked, but somehow they evaded the attacks. They were in that safe zone, and he sent an emissary to have a treaty. And they said, he was killed, but actually he was not killed. He came back making a treaty between the Muslims and the Quraysh, that's the people in Mecca, but a treaty that was very unfavorable to the Muslims. But Muhammad said, no, we have to accept it. And again, the protests. What is this? This is totally unfavorable. He said, no, we have to accept it. Because God has told me to practice self-restraint. He came back, and in those few months, attracted a lot of people who joined his group, became Muslims. After 18 months, the Quraysh broke the treaty. And so he went with his small army towards Mecca because that's part of the agreement. And then what happened was, amazingly, all the different tribes and people, they all joined him. Said, this is a just cause. And when he entered Mecca, all the enemies, the overwhelming superiority of those enemies, they all laid down their arms and they surrendered. And there was not one single bloodshed. Not one single bloodshed. Allah says in the Quran, God made victory manifest because you obeyed the command of self-restraint. This is in the Quran. You obeyed the command of self-restraint. Very difficult as a human being to do that. And by the way, this is why Muslims fast. One of the reasons. In the month of Ramadan, the Quran says, so you may learn self-restraint and be conscious of God. But the word is learn self-restraint. Just ask yourself, am I learning self-restraint? Okay, I want to bring this to an end because I have a friend here who wants to read something that she feels very passionately about. So what do we do? What can we do? I've been reading a post by Valerie Kaur, a wonderful Sikh peace activist. She says, I don't know how to solve this Arab-Israeli conflict, but let me start by grieving about their children as my own. Let me grieve about their children as my own. And he says, how do I respond to this horror of the Arab-Israeli conflict? She says, there's only one answer for me. I refuse to surrender my humanity. And she says, if somebody is suffering because of this, please be with that person. Offer consolation. Be with that person's grief. There's no fixing the grief. There's just bearing with the other person the grief. And if you just do that, if you're present, the next step will automatically follow. I mentioned Nicholas Kristof. If I remember, his last paragraph was, if your moral compass is attuned to only one side of the suffering, something like that. If your moral compass is attuned to one side of the suffering, only one side of the suffering, then your moral compass is broken. And so is your humanity. Just be with that. I have just one last thing. I did a post on the Facebook because I was so touched by this Jewish lady's post. I didn't bring my reading glasses. I'll use my third eye here. She says, This young lady, she didn't put her name there. I didn't catch it. I am Jewish. My neighbor Zahia is Palestinian Muslim. Today, I brought her baklava and a homemade tea blend, homemade soup, and a large orchid. She took me into her arms and we cried and cried. We talked for a long time. Her husband served me Arabic coffee, and she served me stuffed grape leaves. They sent me home with more grape leaves for Greg, a kafia, and the last bag of cardamom coffee from Palestine. They talked about how nice Greg is because he shovels their snow. And then she said she would make me, I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, kenafe, my favorite Palestinian dessert for me. Then she ends by saying, stop making change theoretical and abstract. Stop making change theoretical and abstract. It is knocking on neighbors' doors and sharing coffee and sweets. It is telling each other stories. It is heart to heart, neighbor to neighbor. We are all human. We are all human. We all want a place to call home and for our babies and grandmothers to be safe. Peace begins with me. So just be with it for a few moments. I'm going to put on my other eyes. And Deborah emailed me that she feels very passionate and very heartfelt about something she wrote. She's a little concerned it's a bit long. I said, no, it's okay. It comes from your heart. And she'll read that. After that, we'll do a short meditation. You want to stand? Is it better?
Yeah. Thank you, Jamal.
This is Deborah. Your last name is?
Glowitz.
Glowitz.
Before beginning, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the people around the world who are currently experiencing wars. Inner wars impacting mental well-being, as well as outer wars occurring in global communities throughout the world. In particular, let us all extend our hearts to the Israelis, Palestinians, Jews, and Muslims who are suffering in the aftermath of the atrocities in both Israel and Gaza. When we're touched, it is human nature to extend our hearts outward with love, light, compassion. Sending healing energies fills me with light. Yet true, unconditional compassion for every being, both the victim, but also the oppressor, and the aftermath of so much suffering, challenges me to the core. Conversing with suffering is something I do not instinctively embrace, despite being on a spiritual path of inner work for years. When intense suffering results from tragedies, I have a habit of fleeing images on TV. Fleeing, a fire of anger rises in my belly to defend the defenseless. The best of humanity can awaken in the face of the darkest tragedies, an outpouring of community. However, the duality is also true. Our bodies fill with rage. A part of us wants revenge for the violence we've witnessed, the atrocities experienced, even if it's just in our thoughts. This duality exists at times within me, but it's important to remember that violence never truly heals violence. Unconditional compassion tests us. Can I extend compassion to people who may have kernels of goodness but have chosen to carry out grievous acts? Admittedly, it's extremely difficult. Deep in my gut, it feels immoral even to do so. My initial response is, they don't deserve compassion. If they die, so be it. They deserve it. I cannot recognize myself in them because I've never physically shot someone. True, but have I ever symbolically done so in my thoughts? in my emotions, and the way I react to conflicts in my mind. These are very small, microscopic seeds that do exist within me. There are many seeds within me that have turned into fragrant flowers of divine qualities and weeds of ego traits that require constant pruning. I recognize these aspects. They're my personality. There are other aspects, though, however minutely small, darker, that have never taken root. They're the aspects I prefer not to name. Well-known Vietnamese poet and monk Thich Nhat Hanh, peace be upon him, had the courage to recognize and name all these seeds within him. He penned a poem in the 1970s following the Vietnamese War. Many refugees who fled in boats, experienced a lot of suffering, and many of them were confronted by sea pirates on the seas. In the reflection of writing this poem, he comments, "Can we look at each other and recognize ourselves in each other, everyone?" You know, a young girl who had a momentous occurrence with the sea pirate. Can we recognize all of these aspects within him? Yes. So this is his poem, and I apologize if it's a little bit long. It's called "Please Call Me by My True Names." Don't say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today, I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving. To be a bud on a spring branch. To be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest. To be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower. To be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is in the birth and depth of all that is alive. I am a mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river, and I am the bird that swoops down to swallow in the mayfly. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond, and I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skins and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks, and I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am also the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands, and I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring so warm, it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my circles and laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up and the door of my heart could be left open, the door of compassion. Thich Nhat Hanh, peace be upon him, had the courage to recognize and forgive the darkest aspects of himself, enabling him to practice the truest form of compassion to others. Unconditional compassion is understanding the underlying conditions that lead the innate goodness of people to make poor choices. Accepting people for who they are in this exact moment without expectations of changing paradoxically provides safe space, enabling them to make positive choices if it is part of their evolutionary journey. Unconditional loves begin by consciously reaching out from our hearts to neighbors, co-workers, or relatives whose life perspectives differ from our own without anger or hate. While I don't always agree, being compassionate creates a safe space for sharing, to listen to different views, to see the essence of the other person as part of ourselves. It starts on a small scale. Let us reach out to strangers, neighbors we do not know, to connect as individuals. Multiply, this holds the power for people to work harmoniously together, to better humanity. To Israelis, Palestinians, Jews, Muslims, and everyone around the world, to the divine qualities of each one of them who lives within us. Thank you. Thank you.
Writing and speaking from your heart.
Thank you.
Maybe let's have music first and we'll do a meditation after that.
Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum.
Thank you so much, Sister Ayla. Thank you for always giving so graciously and generously to our community. We are very grateful. My dear friends, a very short meditation. Sit back comfortably and close your eyes. And then focus on your nostril and simply be present with your breath. As you inhale, And as you exhale, just this much, mindful of the in-breath and out-breath. And now, letting go of this, eyes still closed, please focus now on the lowest part of your spine, the sacrum area, and make an intention. Intention equals action in the subtle realms. Make an intention to send a beautiful cord of divine light flowing from the sacrum area and going down, way down, deep into Mother Earth, connecting us to the womb of Mother Earth. Feel that connection, that bonding, that support, that rootedness. And now letting go of that, this time focusing on the crown of the head, the crown chakra. Chakra means wheel in Sanskrit, a wheel-like opening. And from the spiritual opening in the crown of the head, make an intention to send a beautiful cord of divine light, any color, flowing from the crown chakra, going up, higher, way up, piercing those mysterious realms and connecting us to the heart of heaven. Feel that connection, bonding. And now letting go of that, and this time, focus on the physical heart. Many traditions say, like the Quran says for Muslims, Allah is outside of you and inside of you, but where inside? Inside the innermost chambers of the heart. So the space of the heart is actually boundless, infinite. It is the wellspring of eternal, unbounded, infinite light and love. So focusing on the heart, and now make an intention to pour out in an outward, expansive direction, light and love. Pouring from your heart, radiating, emanating, sourcing from that eternal source. Pouring out, radiating light and love from the wellspring of the heart. And the more we pour out, the more we pour out, the more we become filled up with. Please do this in your meditation and also in your waking hours, whenever you can remember, to a tree, to a dog, to a stone, to a human being, to water, sending out light and love. This is so healing, so empowering, so transforming for the other and for ourselves. I'll do a chant, bringing this to a close. And to keep on sending out light and love. Bismillah, and join me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallahu. One more time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallahu. And my dear friends, I really feel inspired to sing one more chant, because some of you know I'm a chant junkie, and that's okay. From the Hindu Brahma Kumari. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. Now, those who can stand up, do stand up. Greet someone, maybe in the Hindu tradition or Islamic tradition or Jewish tradition. The others, so for example, my brother, I'll ask you to stand up. Well, let's sing to each other. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. Then bow to the other. Then move on to the next one. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. 3 more times. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. 2 more times. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. One last time. Om Shanti Om. I am a peaceful soul. Thank you, my friends. You've survived this. I congratulate you. Please have a seat. Sarah Jo, you want to say something, Sarah Jo, about this?
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you all who participated today in today's beautiful service. And thank you, Isla, for the wonderful chanting. My name is Sally Jo, and I just want to mention that this is the time in our service when we offer to each other and to our community our support, our financial support, for the upkeep of this wonderful historic building and all the programs that go on, which we're going to be telling you about a few in a minute here, and that live streaming that happens. And thank you, Rich and Zach, for providing that for us, and to our friends out in cyberspace. You can donate online at our website, interfaithcommunitysanctuary.org. And we do appreciate that because, we pay our bills too. We have to. And so far, this historic building has been preserved since 1890, and we want to keep it going. So thank you very much for your contributions.
Thank you so much to my dear friends here, to the ones who are online. Sally, you want to do a blessing of this, or do you feel inspired to do a blessing, or you want to let go? Well, let's go on with the announcements. Okay. So let's very briefly, any announcements? You have announcements, Sally Jo, you want to make? Yeah. One is about the spiritual retreat.
Well, thank you so much. And we do bless and thank you for your offering, and may it be returned to all of us in abundance, as Allah always says. Who will offer Allah a beautiful loan? Who will loan to Allah a beautiful loan? Loan to God a beautiful loan? It will be returned upon him many multitude times. That's in the Quran. That what we loan to God will be returned to us in the form of blessings and beautiful blessings. So thank you all, and we appreciate your giving. A lot of events coming up in the coming months of our calendar year here. We have potluck after the service. Everybody's welcome to come downstairs and share food and fellowship downstairs, and coffee and tea and all those good things. There was a membership retreat that had been planned for the 28th of October. We've had to postpone that, but other events are coming up soon. One will be a concert next Saturday, the Indian music concert. And Isla, help me with the name of the group. 22nd. It's a Saturday, right? Oh, okay. Okay, 5 o'clock. Okay, I'm glad. That's what I wanted to be sure. I went to this concert last time they played, and it was astonishing. You really must try to get to this. I myself, unfortunately, would be out of town. But it's the Richard Russell Group with violin, tabla, and sarod. It's a beautiful concert that you will be absolutely transformed when you listen to this music. It's Sunday, October 22nd from 5 to 7, right here on this stage. And there's a $20 tickets ahead of time, $25 at the door, and these are donations to the musicians, and some of the donations come to the sanctuary. And this is a concert you do not want to miss. It's next Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m., okay? That's important. Of course, we have our Sunday service every Sunday at 10 a.m., and we have our talent showcase coming up, our membership talent showcase. Well, you don't have to be a member. You just have to come here and share your talent. I have about 8 or 9 acts already signed up, I'm very pleased to say. But if you want to be part of this and you haven't told me yet, come up to me afterward. That will happen Saturday, November 4th at 7 p.m. And we will have our talent showcase with all the beautiful music, poetry, storytelling, acrobatics, dancing. You won't believe what you'll see here, but we do have a lot of talent in our community, and then we'll have some refreshments afterward. That's on November 4th, which is also a Saturday. And we have a Bengali gala coming up on the 18th of November. This is a big, huge dinner. It will not be held here at the sanctuary this year. We're moving it up to Unity of Linwood, where they have a larger space for us and a beautiful venue up there, and our friends up at Unity are co-sponsoring this with us. And you will be receiving an invitation to that to buy tickets any day now. And that is to support our beautiful work going on in Jamal's family's ancestral village in Bangladesh called Chondupur. We have a clinic, a medical clinic that's been operating since 2014. Started out in the schoolhouse, in a little room after school in the schoolhouse, and now we have our own clinic building for women and children and men, and it's staffed by women physicians, and it's growing, and it's becoming more and more a powerful medical place for people to get medical care in the community, in the rural community in Bangladesh, where Jamal's family comes from. So we invite you to participate in that fundraising event on November 18th, and you'll be getting more information about that. So I know there are probably some other things. George's meditation happens every Thursday at 7 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. We sit in silence, and we...
and we levitate.
Well, yeah, some of us levitate. Anyway, we do have... look online for all the different events that happen throughout the week. And
Rich has this up. Zach.
Oh, okay. And Zach, you had...
So one quick announcement for everybody. Next week, before the concerts, next Saturday and next Sunday, there's a 2-day kind of intensive seminar here. And it's called Breathing Alive. It's similar, if you want to go a little bit deeper to some of the practices that Jamal and others show up here or showcase here. This intensive will help you. This is basically 2 days worth of Sufi teachings on foundational breath practices. So during the morning, is Saturday 9 to 5, we'll have some vegetarian lunch and chai and stuff like that to hang out. But a lot of discussion and some instruction on some foundational breath practices. Sunday night, it'll be a zikr, so that's where you actually can, with the folks, do some chanting, some singing, and some movement with those breath practices. And then Sunday, again, after services, is I guess it would be from 12 to 5 or 12:30-ish to 5. We'll be reconvening mostly downstairs on Sunday to talk a little bit more about this and how these breath practices can basically give you peace and foundation in your daily life, your walking life, your waking life, not just, in moments like this. So join us. I'm going to be sending out an email to the listserv, the Google group from ICS later on today. If you're not on that and you want your more information, let me know. I'll hang around here today for a little bit.
And this is the man who really procures for us so much funding from so many places for the roof, for this, for that. So give a wonderful thanks to Brother Zach.
I want to invite, if you enjoy chanting, please join us on October 28th. It's a Saturday, 7 o'clock for 90 minutes, and we'll chant all night.
And they're always very beautiful. I always attend. There's beautiful chanting by Ayla. So my friends, I've kept you for long. Now you know that, as I always say, which is the truth, that the real service starts where? Downstairs over fellowship and food and drink. This is the same thing for conferences. People say that the real learning from conferences comes not from the presenters, but during coffee breaks and during lunch. So we thank all those people who are on cyberspace, heartfelt gratitude for being here. We thank you for being here. Now, before we go down, and you can close we thank you very much because we'll do some sharing. Before we go down, anybody who wants to say anything